Hey, so good to see you. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. I just wanted to start by saying thank you for coming and doing this with me. I really appreciate it. As we talked about, I am doing a mock session for school. Go to Arizona State and I'm studying to be a counselor. So we're doing these mock sessions to get more comfortable with, therapy sessions and that type of thing. So I really appreciate you participating in that with me.
Of course.
Um, so this is going to be, obviously a lot more just relaxed. So, feel free to just feel comfortable and all that. I did want to ask before we started, did you get the consent form that I sent to you?
Yes, signed it.
You signed it. Good. Okay, so what I have to do, like as a counselor, or studying to be a counselor, I just have to gotta go over what was said within the consent form and then we can start. I just wanted to mention that what we discuss stays here. It is confidential. My professor will be seeing it, but other than that, that's gonna, stay confidential. The only reason it wouldn't is if there was like a concern that, you may harm yourself or others. Um, the session is for practice, like I said. I'm recording it for my coursework, but it'll be deleted after the class and after the session ends. So, nobody will be seeing it besides me, my professors, and the people that need to grade this. Um, Again, this is the practice session, just to develop my counseling skills. And I'm gonna focus more on listening and understanding than giving advice. That's gonna be the end goal here. Do you have any questions about any of that?
No,
Great. So then let's start, I guess. So what's been on your mind lately?
sure. My name's Jason. I'm 35 years old, married, two kids. I obviously have a full-time job and, I've been feeling really stretched thin with, work is, a lot, demanding boss, work a lot of hours. And then whenever I come home, I feel like, the work doesn't stop. I'm going into my second job, with the kids, their actually extracurricular activities, cooking, cleaning, helping with homework, making dinner, just all of the things that kind of go along with, being a dad and, husband. And it feels like it's too much sometimes. Like I don't get a break,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're juggling a lot between, work and home, and it sounds like it's becoming, rather overwhelming.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any more to add to that? I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, I think it is, pretty it is a lot sometimes. Um, it's tough to, I guess clock out and then as soon as I get
Mm.
home, I'm kind of like, I'm clocking back in and then before you know it is, bedtime and you wake up and you do it all over again and then, the weekend come and it's nonstop. So it's just
Mhm.
it's a lot of stress and pressure from, work and being providing and, being a dad and a husband and trying to live up to expectations. So it just becomes a lot sometimes.
Yeah, so you mentioned your kids and your wife and having to juggle all that too. It seems like you're caught up maybe between your responsibilities and it may not just be exhausting. Do you feel that because of all that, that may be affecting your relationships too?
Yeah, it could, I feel like my phone's, and emails are constantly a distraction at being at home just because I'm constantly, looking at them or answering an email and just not being able to disconnect and then, going to my, my home life. And yeah, I feel like it definitely, I have a hard time disconnecting from work and, trying to give my family full attention whenever my job is so demanding.
So I guess in that sense, you maybe feel like you kind of check out when you're home just because of all the responsibilities you have during the day, or do you feel like you're able to dial in?
No, I definitely feel like I kind of check out at home just because, I have personally, I have a hard time disconnecting from work. I have an important role at work, and it's, I don't know, it just feels like it's too much because I have expectations everywhere. I have expectations from my boss, my wife, my kids, everyone.
Mhm.
So, and then, obviously don't want to let anybody down. So there's a lot of, just a high expectation. So it's tough to juggle that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense that, you'd feel that way with everything on your plate. Anyone in that position would feel overwhelmed. Um, can you tell me more about the stress that's been affecting your daily routine?
Well, I mean, stress from work or from home.
I guess from everything, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's nonstop. So,
Yeah,
sometimes you just want to come home and just put your feet up and, relax, and you don't ever get a chance to feel like you're doing that because there's always someone that's demanding something.
right.
So,
Would it be fair to say that this has been going on for a long time?
yeah, I'm kind of, take some of that responsibility on myself. I just kind of a workaholic a little bit. So,
Mm.
I think I bring that onto myself a little bit with, setting that precedent with my boss that I'm going to answer emails and, sometimes it's tough not to make work a priority, knowing that work is a priority, but your family has to be a priority too. So it's, juggling two big priorities in your life, and which one's more important, your family that you love or the job that puts food on the table and
Right,
roof over the head.
right. Yeah, I mean that could be hard for everyone. I think a lot of people, a lot of families struggle with that situation. I did want to ask, do you think the expectations that you put on yourself, do you think that has anything to do with like how you grew up or, has it, do you think it's influenced, the way you view your responsibilities at all? Like being the breadwinner, being the provider, having to do everything?
Yeah, especially on my dad's side. He's kind of similar, kind of a workaholic. Work always seemed to kind of go first. He'd work long hours, weekends,
Mhm.
whenever he had to, multiple jobs if he needed to, is whatever he had to
Mhm.
do. To put food on the table. So yeah, and seeing that growing up, it's, almost like it's normal.
Right, totally. That makes a lot of sense. And I think, a lot of people can relate to, how you're feeling and what you're going through. Yeah, it definitely sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed. You're balancing work, you're balancing parenting, you're balancing your marriage. And it's probably starting to impact other things in your life, like your sleep, your stress, your peace of mind. Um, you also mentioned how some of the expectations you grew up with might add to that pressure. So that all makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I thank you for sharing all of that. It really helps me, understand where you're coming from. And I just wanted to be here to listen and just, to let you know that, you're not alone in how you're feeling and, just don't be afraid to share that because that sometimes can, you know, relieve the pressure and relieve, some of what's been on your shoulders lately. But I think you're doing a great job and I really appreciate you sharing that with me.
no, thank you for listening.
Yeah, is there anything else you wanted to talk about or?
No, I think that's it for now.
Okay. Great. Well, it was great talking with you and thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank
Thanks.
you.